Good evening again, everybody. I am just giving the others a few more minutes because I don't want to have to repeat the first couple of things I'm going to say before the librarian joins us. So I'll just give them a few more minutes to join us. All right.
Okay, Miss.
Are you hearing the video?
Study women objectifying women.
No,
Long commutes in Bolivia.
Economic opportunities for the
a little bit, Miss.
Ethiopia, physical theater in Chicago, Munich, Germany, Lord Concave.
I wonder why you aren't hearing. Let me see.
Your creative voice.
Are you hearing better now?
Program at Northwestern University. Some people might be put off because they might say, well, I'm not interested in research. I don't want to graduate. Sure, I don't either. But as long as you have something that you care about, which everyone does, research fits into what you can do. Because at some point in your life, whether you call it research or not, you will be doing research. You're going to look out there, see what's out there, try to figure out a way to make sense of it and have evidence to support, either to find out an answer or to support a hypothesis that you think you have. And being able to have the type of program and infrastructure and funding to support that type of project is just incredible. It's allowed me to really quickly identify the course concepts that professors want me to grab onto, because I'm basically able to identify those research questions that they're trying to pose to us in their classes. So it's made coursework easier because I can identify those core concepts easier. It makes writing papers easier because I know how to turn out things efficiently. And even though I still don't really enjoy the revision process, I force myself to go through it. And finally, I've just really enjoyed having the opportunity to do independent research outside of class on things that I never would have researched or studied in a classroom setting. I've spent a lot of time learning about theory in the classroom, about models and equations and regressions and different things like that, and getting to go on the ground and see kind of the origin of all of these things and really put it together for myself was absolutely critical to the way I understand the field I want to go into. Basically, the advice I give is you can't fail unless you exit the project having learned nothing. The entire point is not to like revolutionize your field of study. It's to have that really great first learning experience. So as long as you learn something from the process and learn something from the questions you are asking, then you succeeded. They should get involved in research that they're passionate about, though. If you do research just for the sake of putting it on a resume, it's not going to be a great experience. But if you have a burning desire to ask a question and find an answer, you get involved in research at Northwestern. Having a mentor relationship with somebody who does research, I have learned so much more than I think I would have bouncing from person to person. Because if you find a good mentor, they will show you so much and they will teach you so much about the process that you could read in a textbook, but until you are sitting there trying to do it yourself, you'll never really get it. It forces you to think for yourself to a greater extent than you have to in coursework. And it also gives you the opportunity to perhaps contribute some new knowledge that has never really been discovered before. I think research is something that really comes from you. And you are able to sort of draw your experience and sort of make something that's completely yours. And I think it not only encourage you to see how your education has served you along the way, and also help you see what you're passionate about in the future. I think the value of doing independent undergraduate research
can't really be overstated. It's a place where you start to become responsible for your own scholarship, for your own ideas, and you start to have some of that agency in developing where your thoughts are going. And that's an incredible experience. It's also an incredible experience to go out there on a limb and find yourself without direction. Obviously, I've had an amazing team of mentors and professors who've helped me think about the research that I've been doing. But that point that you reach where you have to start making your own decisions about what to do with the research you've accumulated, how you personally are going to think about it as a scholar, is an incredibly disorienting experience. It's almost like having vertigo for the first time, and learning how to get that and get through that and savor it is definitely an experience that I've relished doing this undergraduate independent research.
All right, that was just a little video from one perspective, from the perspective of students like yourself who are enrolled in an undergraduate program and doing research or expected to do research. And so you kind of get an appreciation that nobody sometimes comes to research at the first time excited about it. You know, many times there is a feeling of apprehension about what it will mean for you as a student, and why is it necessary? How does it connect to what it is you're doing in the classroom, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to, while we wait on the others to join us, to expose you to that video and let you see from the perspective of students like yourself, right? If I can get this system to work with me so that you can hear the videos better, that would be even better. I'm gonna play another one. Before I begin, I'm seeing we have 18, so we have at least 9 more people who are to join. I know that Jadine is not coming, so that makes 8. Haven't heard from anybody else, so I'm gonna give them probably just until this other video finishes, and then we will begin. Are you hearing it?
Our everyday life has always been punctuated by exciting adventures which makes us enjoy every aspects of life. Challenging situations that made us confused and sometimes. And surprising discoveries that makes us become successful. Sometimes, we are confronted with doubts and problems. So much questions gathered in our minds. That is why we turn to finding out what could be the possible answers and solutions to them. This is where you embark on the process called research. But what is its importance? Research is very important because it leads to expansion of knowledge and discoveries. Research also is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing data to increase understanding of a phenomenon. Through research, projections about upcoming calamities, global warming, climate change, and other future events have been determined. Other definitions given to research are: research originates with a question or a problem, thus it is an inquiry process. Research requires a formal process of problem solving, and it is a set of procedures. The continued existence and importance of research, which will last long, as there is a human being who wishes to expand his knowledge and understanding about the world and everything therein. Research is an act of studying something carefully and extensively in order to have a deep knowledge. Research is undertaken because of some importance it has and does for the society. 1. To gather necessary information. Research provides you with necessary information related to your field of study or work. For example, companies may do research before manufacturing a product. 2. To improve standard of living. Only through research can new inventions and discoveries come into life. How would you think life be without Graham Bell and his telephone? 3. To have a safer life. Research has done great discoveries and development in the field of health, technology, nutrition, and medicine. These things have improved life expectancy and helped in curing a lot of diseases. 4. To know the truth. Research investigates and exposes what wrong beliefs people hold. Listening to different opinions and studying facts and available data will lead you to unravel the truth. 5. To explore our history. Research about our history enables us to learn and understand the past and prepare for a better future. 6. To understand arts. Research helps us in understanding the works of artists in different fields of arts, our perception of the world, the way we experience our relationships with others, the organizations of a society as a whole, are profoundly influenced by the expansion of knowledge, both in the exact sciences like mathematics, physics, biology, and chemistry. Research is closely connected with development. The results of studies also affect society and the lives of each one of us, because research is very vital to our everyday decision making. It hones basic life skills and makes learning a lifelong endeavor. Research fills in the need to love reading, writing, and sharing valuable information. Not only that, but research also leads to an expansion of knowledge and discoveries of new medical treatment and cures. Research efforts have also led to breakthrough in agriculture, such as the introduction of high-yield and drought-resistant varieties. Projection of effects of global warming have likewise been determined through research. Through research findings, psychologists are able to explain the individual's behaviors, including how people think and act in certain ways. In business, market research enables companies to make forecasts and formulate the needed strategies. Business properties conduct surveys and feasibility studies to find out the needs of the community. Research benefits, therefore, can be seen and felt in the following fields. Economic research refers to matters concerning the environment and which may lead to improved techniques to ensure sustainable food. Social research leads to an increased knowledge of people and their interaction with one another, which could be relevant to policy makers. Cultural research leads to increased understanding of cultural values or social approaches. Health research contributes to a better understanding of the causes of medical conditions. In general, research is an important aspect of any organization.
All right, great. So let us get started. So those two videos give you two different perspectives on why it's important to do research. At first, you got the perspective of students at your level who are involved in research as part of their program, or sometimes at US institutions. What will happen is that students will have an opportunity to do what's called independent research as a part of their program of study. So instead of, for instance, doing a a course to gain credits, they will be given the opportunity to do independent research aligned to their program, and it's given a grade, right? You don't have that in your structure, so that is just a little different. So they may do it as part of their program, meaning within a course like you're doing it, or they may do what's called an independent study, right? So you hear from the student's experience in terms of it just giving you a better appreciation of how to go about approaching your coursework that you're doing, your projects that you're doing, and also how it can help you in the wider scheme of things. And then you heard a video about the importance of research in terms of just societally, right? If we are dependent as humans on research every day, whether or not we realize it, it informs things as like the things that we might be eating nutritionally, the decisions that we might make. It informs even something like the current situation that we're in with the pandemic. They had to be doing research for many years on vaccines to fight different forms of the flu. And that is why they were able to come up with these vaccines that they now have. These vaccines, although they seem to have come up within a year, they're really grounded in research that scientists have been doing for several years, because since SARS and all of those other flus have been affecting us in the last probably 10 to 15 years, what the scientists realized is that it was sooner rather than later we were going to have another pandemic. And so they started doing research on the vaccines and the science that could help to perhaps fight this pandemic when it came. And that is why they were really able to kind of fast track the development of the vaccines that they now have on the market. So the research didn't start within the last year. They built on research that was already in existence. So research informs medicine. It informs even the things that we eat. Sometimes it informs our transportation experiences, everything that you can think about. When there is development, when there is innovation, research informs it. All right. And so it is very important that we recognize what value it places in our day-to-day lives. And so as undergraduate students, it's very important that you yourself have an appreciation for why research is important. All right. Now, I don't know how many of you saw the email that I sent a little earlier, because I just got the confirmation about the time for the number of students in the class when I sent the email. So that's why I was only able to send it. So there are 27 students enrolled in the course. And so that means we're going with groups of 3. So what I asked in the email that was that, let me see, where is that page? 1 second. Stop share.
Calamities.
Trying to close out that video. All right, so what I asked in the email was that each group, you determine who is in your group, and then are you seeing the screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss. All right, so you're going to go to click on people. Let me go to student view. You're going to click on people, and you should see this page come up. Okay, and then from this page, you're going to choose a group. We have, oh Lord, I have 7. Hold a second. It should be 9. Give me a second. 1 second. It should be 3 people in a group. So we actually need another group. It should have created it. I don't know. Let me try refreshing the page. But essentially, you're going to go on the page and choose one of those groups, and then just drag or enter the names of your group mates into one of these groups, right? So why isn't it showing the 2 additional groups? 2 additional.
I'm already in a group. Me just a connection, so no matter.
All right, 1 second, guys. But that's what you're gonna do. I'll work on that while Miss Morrison, when she joins us, comes in and is showing you about the online databases. Okay. So I want you to go to this page, click on people, go to this page, select a group that's not already in use. So for instance, I see where Trudy has already put in her 3 members for research project 1. You're gonna just go, the names are there. You can either drag it across or you can enter it. And
it's from the students view. There's the option to join.
Yeah, you
So
can,
there's
you
the
don't see
group
what
and
you're
then it
seeing.
says join. So you just press join.
You click join. So everybody have to log into their own Canvas, Miss, and join.
And join a group.
Yes. So the names aren't on the left like yours. It's just the option to join.
Okay, so that means you all have to determine which group you're all joining then, whether you're going to research project 2 or 3, so that you don't end up in the wrong group.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we'll have to do it that way then. All right, so that is how it's going to work, right? So you go into your groups in that way for the research projects. Now, Miss Morrison, the librarian, is going to join us any minute now. And she's going to basically expose you to the online databases which are in the library and how you can access them, right? Because one of the things I want to do this evening before the end of class is I want to put you into your groups that you have decided. I hope that people would have had enough time to kind of talk and determine who they might be in groups with, right? I hope that you would have at least started that discussion so that we can then go into the groups and you can I can hear you kind of brainstorm what you're thinking in terms of topics. I hope people started thinking about, okay, probably a possible area that would be good for them to look at for the research and so on, so that, because you really have to start thinking about that from now, right? All right, so while I wait on Miss Morrison to join us, let's just continue where we left off last class. Let me stop share. Yep. And what I will be doing in terms of the class recordings, because I know that, for instance, someone isn't feeling well this evening and somebody else is going to be absent, what I will do is I will post the videos to my YouTube channel and I will email you the link to the video so that if at any point you want to watch a particular class recording, that's how you can access it. The link will also be posted in Canvas, but YouTube will email you the link to the class recording. All right, so what that means is, of course, that it should be a little easier for you to access the class recordings, because YouTube, I think, is included in most data plans at this time. Additionally, it doesn't take up storage space, so you won't have to like download the video anywhere and watch it, that sort of thing. It's a private video, so it means that you'll only be able to view it if you have the link, or if you're using the link and your ECC email address. All right, so just so that you know, moving forward, I have not received the recording for last class yet, but as soon as I receive it, I'll upload the video to the YouTube page. So
much appreciated.
What was that, Trudy?
I said much appreciated, Miss.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Let me just check. I hope Miss Morrison tells me when she's here. Oh, she's here. Okay. Miss Morrison, you're muted.
Hi, Dr. Malcolm. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss.
Good evening.
Oh my God. Good evening.
You ready for us, or you want me to give you a few minutes?
Yes, because I have to present from I'm presenting from my computer, which does not pick up my audio. So I have to
Okay.
sort that out. So
Okay. So you
I would appreciate the time. Yes.
All right, no problem. So I'll just go ahead and let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So let me just continue with where we were last class. If you remember last class, we were just looking at some of the initial considerations in terms of why it is we actually do research, why is it important, what are some of the things that you should consider when you're doing research. So for instance, if you are looking at developing a research idea, you know, how would you focus that research idea? You have to think about what is the true purpose of your research. Why are you doing it, right? You have to think about who your research is going to inform, things of that nature. Why is this thing? Let me move this bar here, put it to the side. I think it's causing problems. All right, so I think we were here, which is really where I was saying to you that regardless of when you start your research, you're going to have to do some type of lit review. So lit review doesn't begin when you actually start to write the lit review, which is chapter 2. You have to do literature reviews from the very beginning, from before you even choose your topic. You have to be doing literature reviews because you have to look at what is happening out there in the society, what is happening in terms of your area of study. And that is going to help you to kind of fine tune exactly what your topic of study is going to be. So even though you have a chapter 2, which is called the literature review, your review of the literature starts from even before you put pen to paper the first time, even before you've come up with that topic. It's just that when you get to chapter 2, your review is going to be much more in-depth because you'll be looking at much more information than you would have looked at before. All right. So here on the screen, for instance, they're saying that, remember Maria, we're talking about her last class. She wants to look at increased weapon use in school by youth and school violence. And so in doing that, she has to do a review of the literature. Why? She has to go and she has to look in books, journal articles. She has to look at the resources within the library, the databases. She has to look in the newspaper to see all the information, as much information as she can gather about her topic of interest. Because remember what I said to you is that although I may not be a specialist in the area of your topic, when I read your paper, I want to get an appreciation of how widely you have read and how much information you have gathered in doing your research. Right now, one of the tools that the library has available to you, and I'm going to encourage you to use it, is that they have referencing databases, right, where you can actually store your resources as you find them. I believe through one of the library databases, you'll have access to what's called RefWorks. And so you can store your information, your sources as you find them. It's like a cloud for you to store resources as you find them. And so it will even help you to do the APA citation. Now, if RefWorks is not up and running, there's another free one that I know of called Zotero. and you can use that for a similar purpose as well. So Miss Morrison will give us some updates on the use of those cloud systems, so to speak, to reference your files and records when you find them. Okay, so the literature review is very important. You have to focus your topic so that it is manageable. You're not going to want to choose a topic that is so broad, that is very broad and tries to encompass everything. And that's why I say to you that you can make it specific to a particular group. If you want to just look at how something is affecting women in an organization, you can do so. If you want to look at how something is affecting men, you can do so. If you want to even restrict your research to a particular gender, a particular age group, if you want to make your research specific to married employees, you can do that, right? I have had students who have looked at, for instance, when they did tourism, I've had students who have looked at the experiences of single mothers who work on cruise ships in terms of how they balance family life and home life, you know, being away from children. I have had persons who have looked at the experiences of small farmers in Manchester in terms of some of the struggles that they have being entrepreneurs. I have had persons who went and researched and interviewed ganja farmers in Westmoreland, you know, and looked at how they saw themselves as contributors to the tourism industry. This was before marijuana was legalized or you know, popularized the way it is now, that my students were doing this type of research, right? So what I'm saying is you can fine tune or narrow your research so that it is very manageable for you, and you can focus on a particular group if you want, or subset. You can focus on a particular area of study. Don't make it too broad, right? When you're doing your search of the literature, of course, you're going to start very broad, right? You're going to start from a broad perspective and then filter down, because you want to get an overarching understanding of your topic that you're doing. And so you don't want to be too narrow when you just start to look on information for your topic, right? So you're going to start as broad as possible to get as much information on your topic as you can. And in getting that broad perspective on your topic, it's really going to help you to kind of determine what exactly about your topic you may want to focus on, and what is going to be manageable for you. If you only look for instance, you're looking for something related to people of African descent living in Singapore, you might go and do your research and you might find that there's nothing that's been written on people of African descent who are living in Singapore. And so if you start very narrow, it is going to limit you. So you have to start broad, and then you can start to filter down and become more specific where your topic is concerned. So and another thing you have to do is you have to then determine, and we're going to look into this a little bit more next week, you have to look at things like the purpose statement. What is, aside from that overall question that you want your research to address, there's going to be a time where you have to have a singular statement that is going to say to the reader, this is the purpose of my study. All right. And a lot of times students will basically use their purpose statement is going to come from their research question. So you have a broad question that you're asking, and then you're now going to have a statement that you're going to craft that says to the reader, and the purpose of my study is to. I must see that coming out when you are writing your chapter 1. You have to have a purpose statement, because it says to the reader, this is the true focus of my research. And so as they go and they continue to read your research paper, they must get that coming at them from all angles. They must see that you are focused in the research that you're doing, and that everything that you're saying goes back to that purpose, goes back to that research question that you asked at the beginning of the study. So everything has to be linked in your paper when you're writing it, right? So your purpose statement essentially is going to restate your problem or topic of interest and just make it, rephrase it in a statement format so that your reader understands explicitly what it is your research is about. And one of the things that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks is that we're going to be looking at articles and articles that other authors have written. You're going to learn to kind of pick up from articles. This is the research statement. This is the research question. This is the purpose statement. And if you don't see those things in articles, it means that that's a weakness of the article that was written. All right, because that is something that the author of the article should make very clear, very explicit, because it basically is saying, this is the objective, this is the goal of my research. And so the reader can pick up on that very clearly, right? So there's going to be a class where I ask each of you probably to bring to the class a journal article that's been written on a topic related to your own. All right, and so you're going to do your research, you're going to do your literature reviews, and you're going to start collecting topics that are, and articles, sorry, that are similar to what you are working on for your research. So you're going to, after you've decided on this broad topic, you're going to filter a little bit down, narrow down somewhat, and you're going to speak about the objective of your study, as I was just saying, right? So then your topic becomes more specific, okay? Now you have what's called an overall research question, as we were saying last class, that your topic is going to answer. And in addition to your research questions, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes researchers will pose hypotheses. I'm sure that word is not unfamiliar to you because some of you may have had to do this when you were doing SBAs for CSEC or CAPE work, where you had to pose hypotheses or basically predictive statements that say, you know, this is what is going to happen, or this is what should happen, or this should not happen. All right. So in your research, you're going to come upon terms like research questions, you're going to come upon terms like hypotheses, you're going to come upon terms like purpose statements. And I want you to become very familiar with what those terms mean when you see them in articles. So if you have a purpose statement, it must include the focus of your study, okay? It must include and mention the participants in your study. So for instance, the example I was giving you about single mothers who work on cruise ships, when that student was crafting their purpose statement, right, they had to speak to exactly what it is that they were doing, and in that statement include that they were focusing on single mothers who worked on cruise ships, so that the reader knows those were the participants in their study. Now, you also need to speak to the location or the site of inquiry, all right? So in the statement that I just made to you, what would be the location? The example that I just stated, that
the cruise ship.
The cruise ship, okay? And you could get even more specific. Suppose a student chose to focus on cruise ships within the Carnival line, or cruise ships that did trips in the Caribbean, within the Caribbean. Okay, so you can get very specific in terms of the location or the site of inquiry, because as I said to you before, you can differentiate your location based on geographic location. So for instance, I said to you, I've had students who have gone to Westmoreland to do research, to Manchester to do research, to St. Anne to do research. You might choose to focus on a particular type of school. So you might choose to focus on primary schools. You might choose to focus on high schools. You might choose to focus on secondary schools in research. You might choose to focus on public sector organizations or private entities. right? So those would be your sites of inquiry. Those are going to be the sites that you choose to focus on in your research, because you can't afford to just be doing something that's at your level, especially not very broad research, all right, for your projects that you're doing. Any questions? All right. I see Miss Morrison has messaged me that she's ready. So I'm going to hand over the controls to her so that she can introduce you to the library databases, how to access them online so that you can start to do your own investigations. Miss Morrison, you can go ahead and share screen. You're
Okay.
muted. Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Malcolm.
All right, no problem.
All right. Let's give me a minute. Let me share my screen. All right, so good afternoon again, everybody, or good evening. Okay, right. Herfa Morrison, and I'm your college librarian. And today I will be sharing with you how to use the electronic resources that we have available through the library. So let me just share. I hope that's the right screen. All right. Are you seeing my screen? It should read the Excelsior Community College website.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right. So the library has a number of responsibilities. One of them including is to share with you how to use the virtual systems. All right, so right now, since we have this pandemic, we have increased our virtual features on the library website. And I will be sharing with you how to access most, if not all of these at this class. All right, so our library website is linked to the main college page. And if anybody could share with me, what do they think, where would they go to find the library website?
Well, that icon there, the bookshelf would seem like a library.
Right. All right. So if you notice, Excelsior has used a number of icons for different things, different features within the college or support unit. So this one is the library's website, and I hope that you have been going there very regularly. All right. So
this will be my first time.
Okay. All right. It's never too late for a shower of brain. All right. So this is actually our library website. And if you should come on here anytime during the day, you should be able to speak with a library professional. All right. So you have this little bubble down here in the green in the right left-hand corner at the bottom. And you should click on it. You will see where it says start a new conversation. Somebody will come up to ask you how they can help you and stuff like that. I really should be the one. What time is it? Is it 6 o'clock yet?
Yes, miss.
Yes, right. I'm really the one who's supposed to be sitting in at this time, but because I'm having your class, I'm not there. So if at all you come on and you should ask a question and no one is there, it will go to an email system. All right, and somebody will respond to you from there. All right. You can also ask your questions here at this email where it says askpplrc@ecc.edu.jm. So those are ways of how you can contact a library professionals if you need our help, all right, or any time of the day. These email and messaging systems are checked regularly. So if you're worried about a timely response, they are usually checked regularly. All right, so we have this website also serves as our online catalog. And you can come and search for anything that you need. It will give you bibliographic detail of the works that are included in our library collection. All right, so you can search for the print collection of the library, you can search here. All right, so let's say, by the way, what class is this? Is it business?
Yes, it's business, and their specialization is HR.
Okay, so let's say, for example, we are searching, we want something on human resources. This is where we would go to type in this dialog box here, and we can click go or enter. It also gives you different elements that you can search the database through. If you know the title, you are the author, the subject, or if by chance you have the ISBN of the book, you can use that as the search element. Well, I just usually search the general catalog or the resources. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. So we have a number of material on human resource. Now, you'd have to scroll through these hits or entries to see which one is most appropriate for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one, human resources annual editions. One thing with this database, it gives you a picture of the resource. If you do not know what the material looks like and you want an idea of it, you are able to see the front cover of that resource here. And so if when you go into the library, the professionals are not sure what the book looks like either, you can also share with them what they're looking for. All right, it will give you in green here the shelf address of the material. All right, so what you should take note of here is the call number, which is 6583.3 ANN. All right, and it should tell you where exactly it is available. It's available at our main campus, which is at the Mountain View Avenue, or is it available at Camp Road or in the St. Thomas campuses? Okay, but wherever it's available from, you should speak to your library representative and they will assist you in retrieving that material. All right, if you want an expanded view of the resource, you can always click on the link, the entry, to see what more is there. Sometimes some of these resources will give you a table of content, a view of the table of content, and sometimes it will give you an introduction of the work itself. All right. It also tells you the holdings, how many resources are available for this particular title. This one is available both at the main campus. All right. So you will see right in this current location, you will see whether it's the main campus, where at the main campus, whether it's RBC, circulation, so you are able to go straight to that area where the material is. Or it will tell you where is, if it is in Camp Road or Princess Margaret or Wesley Grove campus. All right. No, these materials cannot be viewed online. It's only the bibliographic details that you are seeing online. Also, you should be able to find our past papers as well. Here we have coming up, developing your human resources examination paper, CCCJ, all right? And if you should click here to access online, it should either download or open up in a new tab. All right, I'm not seeing it downloading right here, but it should be downloading. All right. So when it downloads, you will open up and print or use the material online. Okay. Maybe my system would want to update why it's not downloading. Okay. If at all you were specifically searching for past papers too, you could go on here onto your left-hand corner where it says refine your search. You go down to item types right here and you select the format of the material. So it has listed books, circulation books, past paper, RBC, and you want past paper, you will click on past papers. And then past papers only would come up. All right. But for the purpose of your doing your research, if you want research material or printed material, you would use the subject or keyword search to search your dialog box to bring up your relevant information or resources. All right. From this website, you can also find some of our APA resources. We are now using the 7th edition of the APA, and we have a few tutorials here. We also recommend the Purdue OWL website, where you can go and find additional information on how you cite your sources in your work, and also on how you reference, how you do your reference list. All right, so if at all you find the need to use APA and you haven't gotten a training session, then you can come here and use the resources that are available. All right. All right, so the other tabs speak for themselves, the opening hours, the history, the staff members. One of the things that I should share with you is that at the library, we have a team that each member operates as liaison officers to the different schools. So we have assigned to the School of Business, Miss Marie Dobson, and she's your liaison officer. Whatever it is that you would need in relation to library and library services, we can always contact Miss Marie Dobson. All right, we have other liaison officers for different schools. But if at all you are in urgent need, you can always come on here and discuss your issues with someone. All right. So it's important that you know your liaison officer so that she can always address your information needs anytime or whenever possible. All right. So now we are going to be going to our databases. Right here on the left-hand side, where it says click here to access your e-resources, we have a number of sources that are available through the library. All right, so we have what we call ProQuest, EBSCOhost, Springer, and we now have Sage Knowledge, which is actually a trial database that we're doing. And we also have our open access resources that are available. And the open access resources, they have scholarly information just as much as the ones that we pay for. So the proprietary ones are ProQuest, EBSCOhost, Springer. These are what we pay for the student. The college pays for these for you and the staff. And in addition to those, we also have open access resources that we are recommending for your use. All right. Now, I'm going to share with you how we're going to search a number of them. I was trying ProQuest earlier and I realized that I am not logging in the correct way, but let me try it today and to see what, let me try it again and let me see what happens. All right, but if you were to access it from home, you would need your remote access codes in order to access these resources for all three, EBSCO, ProQuest, Springer. All right, and I will be providing that maybe at the end of the session, or if I can find it before. All right, so let's go ahead, and in this database, you can search for books, for journals, and you can narrow your search using this database. For example, if we are going to search for, let's say, psychology, we can choose to say, what are we searching for? The title, the subject, the author, and we continue the search. Do we want full text? Is it academic publications? Do we want to search all resources, electronic books, electronic journals? What is it that we're gonna search? So you can actually narrow your search from here. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make a broad search of everything. All right. So here I have a number of hits coming up, and I could go ahead and select whichever one that is necessary for my research or my research paper. So it would be good to read what the entry is about before you go on and select your resource. So for example, here it says it's an ebook, it's full text and it's online. You can do a preview of the entry to see what exists. You can have a read the abstract information there to see if it is right for you. All right. This actually helps you to cite the resource. Let's say it is something that you are interested in for your research paper and you want to use it. This icon actually tells you that you can cite it. When you click on it, it will give you a list of the citation styles that we are using, and you know that we are using the APA citation style, and it gives you the format preview. You could go ahead and either print the citation or you can export it to RefWorks. All right, there are other citation modules there, but we are using currently RefWorks. So you can export it to RefWorks. So you would have to have an account with your with RefWorks before you can start exporting exporting bibliographic detail to RefWorks. All right. All right. All right. So that is, notice this is my account.
Ms. Martin, sorry, would they have to set up a RefWorks account separately or once?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they would have to set it up. So I have the instructions for setting up. So I can also email that to you, Dr. Malcolm, or I could, and you email it to your students.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Right. And they could go ahead and set up. All right, but it's not difficult to use. I haven't used it in a while, but it's not something that is hard to use. Hope that we can go over it. All right, so let's go back to the ProQuest results. So that was the citation tool. You can email this item if it's something that you're interested in using. You email it. You can email it to somebody, yourself. All right, that's another way of saving the article that you would like to use. You can also link it to whatever document that you would like to share it in as well. You can save the item to your folder, but for you to save an item to your folder, it will also require that you create an account with ProQuest as well. All right. Now, at the left hand of your screen, let's say the entries that came up are not what you are interested in. You can further define your search from the left-hand side of your screen. All right, so you can tell it, I want journal article, or you want just newspaper article, book reviews, book chapters, just ebooks, and you have more, and it will list all that you can access from this database. So here you can even access videos, pictures, dissertation, electronic resources, conference proceedings, audio recordings, presentation, publication, and the list goes on. All right. You can select what period you would want that publication from when to when, March 2020, or whenever. So let's say your lecturer decides, or based on your profession, you can't use anything that is older than 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years. So you'll be able to put that time frame in and lock it in to get the resources that you want. All right. You can further narrow your search by the disciplines that are available here and the subject terms as well. And if you're looking for a specific language, you can also see which one, the options that are available, and select from there. All right, so let's go back to this particular entry. Notice it will give you the navigation keys. No, sorry. The table of contents are listed here. For this chapter, it says PDF, so you can download that. The others are not available because it's here, it says by ebook. Now, what I should explain to you is that this is actually from a Springer database that is also linked to the ProQuest database. The reason why, it's because we have a discovery system. So once we search the ProQuest database, it searches all the databases that we have available through the library and not necessarily individual databases. So you will see material from Springer coming up. You'll see material from EBSCOhost and the other databases that are linked to our website. All right. So in our Springer, and I'm sorry for going all over the place at this moment, but just to let you understand that sometimes you will come upon resources that are not necessarily belonging to a particular database. When you see that, you will know that where it is available. All right, so in our Springer database, it's a database that we will have to populate. So if you get an information like this where you have to buy the ebook, you will have to consult your lecturer or your library professional, right? So that if this is a book that is necessary, that is on your reading list, then we will do the necessary follow the necessary protocols to purchase this ebook or make it available to you. Okay, all right. So here it did say full text. It's available in full text, but it's not because we have to purchase that material. All right. So the next best option is to find another resource with the similar information. All right. Let me see if this one has something that is full text and available. All right. So this is actually a journal, and is a full text journal, and it's available in HTML format. All right, so one of the things is that these resources are available in different types of format. It may be available in PDF or HTML. All right. So, and you can copy, you can link it, you can cite, you can download. In some instances, the pages, only pages are available for download, or you can use the material for a period of days in some instances, but it will indicate to you when that happens. All right, any questions so far regarding this database or anything that I've said?
No, miss, everything good. Straightforward.
Okay. All right.
Well, for me, it's still miss. When I speak for everybody.
All right. Anybody else want to share? All right.
Anybody would like Miss Morrison to search for a particular topic of interest? Nobody?
All right.
Okay.
Silent means consent.
Probably Miss Morrison to like focus on a human resource search. And then I also want to kind of show them in terms of when you're searching within for journal articles.
Yes.
Kind of how you would filter those searches.
Okay. All right. So I will do that to the EBSCOhost database. All right. So here we have our EBSCOhost database, and I've already logged in my username and password. And so I'll just go in and sign in. All right, so it takes me straight to my database. So I will provide that information to you. I don't know if your lecture hasn't already sent it to you. All right.
I haven't.
Okay. So this is the EBSCOhost platform, and we have a number of sub-databases included in this particular database. All right, here on the front here, we have the first link is the everything. You can search everything here in this first link. Then we have the Nursing Reference Center. This is a reference resource for our nursing students and lecturers. All right. We also have the ebook that are available, ebook databases that are available through EBSCO, listed right here on the menu. And also, this is another discovery service that we use. It's similar to the one in ProQuest, but we are not using this particular database. So the three databases that are relevant to our students are these three here. All right, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna click on this database here. This is where our journals and periodicals and all different types of publications are available through. Let's say I want to do a search. I would click on here for a new search. I can look at the subject areas that are available in our website, in our databases here. And here you also see a number of sub-databases. So we have the Academic Search Premier. We have Business Thesaurus, Education Resource Thesaurus, the ERIC, Green, and the list goes on. All right, these are our publications as well that are offered through these databases. If you want to look at the image collection or search images, you can also go here for that search. And the company profiles are also available as well. So like how you are in the business field, this will be relevant to you. All right. Other resources that are available are or reference sources such as dictionaries, indexes, and ebooks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at the first page where we would go to search. So let's say anybody is looking at a particular topic right now as it relates to human resources that you would like me to put
they haven't chosen their topics yet, but maybe you could do recruitment.
Okay. All right. Or let me say workplace recruitment. And here it also provides a built-in dictionary. So as you type, you'll see a list of similar topic areas or keywords coming up as you type in. And possibly it can give you idea of other search terms that you can use. And also it will bring up some search areas that you would like to search instead of what you are actually searching for, or more deep specific search term. All right, so let's see what comes up. And this is just a general search. So we click on search or enter. All right, so we have a number of hits coming up. And if you notice at the top here, search results, 1 to 30 of 404. All right, so this is the total number of resources that we have available that speak to workplace recruitment. All right, so each entry have listed the bibliographic detail of the resource, and if you click on it, it will give you an expanded view of what the resource is. So it gives you the abstract detail of the keywords that are available, the subject terms of the resource, the author, the source, the document type, and it tells you where it's available. Here it's available in the Academic Search Premier, which is a sub-database of EBSCO. It also gives you an accession number, and these are really library terms. DOI, which is a digital object identifier, that's a number. So if you are using this particular document for your research, it would be good to use the DOI as the address of the paper rather than the URL. All right, because this number will take you specifically to the resource itself. All right. Now, using this, let's say you read the abstract and you would want to use this for your assignment. You can go ahead and click on the full text if it's available. All right, so there's no full text that's available. It's only the detailed record, so you can go ahead and find similar results. All right, for the purpose of the class, I want to find one that has the full text article available. All right, so if you go through this database, it will tell you where you can get the text from. It says from Eric, it's available from Eric. And the first one was available from where? Okay. Academic Journal. I'm not sure why it didn't come up here. All right, so here's a full text article. All right, so I could either go straight to the full text from here, or I can choose to read the abstract before I actually go into the resource itself. All right, here in this database, you have also tools that are available from the database to assist you in how you manipulate your article. All right, so you can actually send it to your Google Drive and you can work from it there. You can add it to your folder, and like the other databases, you are required to create an account before you can actually save the articles in the folder. All right, you can print it, you can email, save, you can also cite from this source. So when you click on the citation feature, it will give you also a list of writing styles that are available, and you choose the one that is relevant to you, and you know it's the APA. Remember, we are currently using the APA 7th edition. All right, so you will click on it, you can copy and paste, and I think you can link it to RefWorks as well from here. All right, so I usually just copy and paste in my reference list. All right, so I also want you to take note that this is not the in-text citation. A lot of people think that because it says cite here, which is actually a little misleading for me, it doesn't give you a cite and in-text citation thing. It gives you the reference entry. So this is what you would include at the end of your paper, right? So the in-text citation is actually different, or it's done differently. Okay. You can export this content to anywhere else that you'd like. You can also create a note about it. Say, for example, you would have already created your folder and stuff, and you want to save this. You don't want to go back and search. You log into your account, and when you find the information or the resource that you'd like to use, you can just create a little note to say this is relevant to my assignment on recruitment or workplace recruitment. All right, and you save that. So when you go back into your folder, which is available at the top here, you can just click on it to say what is there. All right, so I'm not actually in my account. I don't think I'm in my account, so don't know if this will be available to me. All right, so I can also go to my full text from here. And tools are still available at the right-hand side of your screen. All right. Also available from this page are your, let me move this. Okay. Sorry, this used to have some navigation keys I'm not seeing, but without them, you have you can scroll through the document with view. All right, you can increase the size and you can decrease the size, stuff like that. You can download, you can print. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Any questions you would like to ask? All right, so let's
No,
go
miss,
back.
none so far.
Okay. All right, and you can always go to narrowing your search if you'd like. So refining your search features are also available from the left side of the screen. All right. And just to show, I'm going to go back to new search to just show you how you can refine your search from the beginning of your search. Say, for example, you are searching for, let me write performance appraisal since you are in HR.
There's a raised hand, Miss Morrison. Kimberly has her hand raised.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Kimberly.
Hi, good evening, everyone. And I have a question here. The chat, what time does it cut off? Because I'm sure when it's time for us to actually use this program software, you know, we will have to speak with somebody in the chat. So what's the cutoff time? What's the start time on any given day?
Okay, the chat cuts off at 8 o'clock, which is when usually the physical library would close. So it opens at 9 in the morning and closes at 8. But if you should come on in the after 8 or at 8 or before 9 o'clock the next morning, we would, whatever the questions are, would go to an email system. So sometimes you might get an answer. You might get an answer before 9 o'clock the next morning.
Okay. All right. All right, thanks, Mo.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Is there another question or comment? All right, Trudy, I hear you. Okay, let me just give me a moment. Let me find out my page. All right, so we're looking for performance appraisal. And I want to narrow my search. Say I want full text. I want to look at current journals, peer-reviewed journals. And I want some images, maybe. What kind of publication am I going to look at? I'm going to select periodicals. I didn't see journals here. All right. I want it to be academic journal. Or pages, I can limit the number of pages less than 15 or all or equal to this amount, greater than. You can select that if you want. You want color photographs. What is it that you want? Charts, diagrams, illustration. You can select all that you want. I can go ahead and I say, okay, I want something that's from January 2020. What is available now in this new norm to let's say December 2020. All right. And I can go further down to select whatever it is that I want.
I just wanted to say, Ms. Morrison, that the dates feature is going to be important for their research because we're trying to keep the most recent research. So for instance, within the last 10 years or so, we don't want to go beyond that as much as possible, unless it's like a seminal or foundation work that you're citing. You're trying to use more recent references in the research that you're doing. So the published date is going to be important for them to filter by that as much as possible.
Right. So, and as Dr. Malcolm said, in the last 10 years, so you can filter that right here in this area. All right. You can ask them to make the references available to you. And so I'm fine with this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my search on what's available on performance appraisal. All right. So far, my very specific. Only one search result that I got, and this is it. Performance evaluation model of economic compensation policy. So you go ahead in the same way and narrow your search the way that I did. All right. You can even make it a little broader or more inclusive to include other things. You can look at appraisal systems, maybe in North America and the Caribbean or wherever you are focusing on. All right. So it also, notice that I asked for images. It gave me images. And it also gave me illustrations. All right. So if I wanted to make it a little more open or broader, I would have to go back and deselect some of these delimiters. I can also reset and do it over again. And or I can do it from the side of my screen. Right. One of the things when we are doing our search, we can also ask to include the Boolean operators. And Boolean operators is a way of how we use or conduct our searches using and, or, and not. All right. So we probably can look at, say, Jamaica. um, Caribbean, not United States, hope that it will recognize that spelling. All right, so this is a way that, for example, we can limit our search. We want to look at Jamaica in the Caribbean and at Jamaica in the US. So this should really give us the search articles on Jamaica in the Caribbean. All right. The Boolean operators or phrase would be automatically selected if we select those. All right. But if I'm searching for the internet, searching via the internet or other open databases, this is one way that we can use to search our database or the internet. Another way is that, for example, we are looking for not broadening our search, we could use the word and, right? And we can use it in any context, the general internet or whichever databases that you are searching for. And just to give you an idea, here in our the hits that came up, we have as literature speaking to the Jamaica in the Caribbean and not Jamaica in the US. All right, if you really look at the hits. All right. Not also narrows your search. That's what I just searched for, right? Or broadens your search. Say, for example, I'm looking at automobile. But you know, automobile is very general, I could say, or ambulance. And you can use as many search terms as possible when you're using the Boolean operator or trucks, or cars, or, and the list goes on, motor vehicles, and that should take your search a little wider. Right. So it will bring up everything relating to these search terms that I've put in. So likewise, in your field of study, you are in human resource, there are other terms that you can use for specific terms that are listed in your profession. So, and you know your own jargons that you can use. All right, so whatever you are searching for, it would be good to look at synonyms that are available, look at other synonyms that can be used in terms of the keyword that you're using, and interchange it sometimes, mix it up, find other words that you can use, because sometimes you might not find information under the specific term that you're looking for. But if you use other synonyms, it's possible that you can find more relevant information on that particular topic. You can use up your Boolean operator features from the databases, and you can use them when you are typing in your search. All right, and you have a number of texts that are available. Any questions so far? Dr. Malcolm, am I touching on everything that you want?
The only thing perhaps, because time is running out, is that I would want you to talk to them about how to access the website offsite if they're not on the campus, so that they can start to do their searches.
Okay. All right. So let me just get my link. And I'll just put it in the chat. So when you are at home or you are at a remote location, once you're not
send them that, but you can send it again. That was what you emailed, right?
Right, you sent already?
I sent it in the chat so they can check the chat for that.
Okay, great. All right, so this is actually our access codes form for when you are at remote location. Say, for example, you are at home, you are at work, you maybe even be out of the country. These are the access codes that you use, and they're very specific. EBSCOhost, ProQuest. For the trial database, I am encouraging you to use the trial database. It is scheduled to end the trial is scheduled to end in March. And I would like you to access the resource so that we can get an idea of how it is being used and if it is necessary for us to keep. All right, one of the things that we have to be mindful of is that we have to bear in mind of our current situation. We don't know where the pandemic is going, how long it will be for, and we'll have to rely on these resources. So if this particular database is necessary for our students, we would want to keep it. All right, and we would have to make that recommendation based on the usage of the database. All right. Here's the password and username for that particular database, and also the Springer link. Remember that in Springer, you'll have to populate that database. So if you go into the Springer database and you see the resources that you need that are not necessarily available, then the college would have to buy those resources for you to access. All right. So the books are there, the platform is there, some books are there, and the platform is available, but we just need to populate it a little bit more to customize it for our audience. All right, so Dr. Malcolm has sent this in the chat already. So I'm gonna ask you to visit the chat and get the necessary information from there. Now, in our library, we also provide access to other types of journals, open access journals, and these vary. We have them in different subject areas. We have in academic journals and ebooks, and this is a very general database. So perhaps you will find information in relation to your course of study here. You know, medicine will more be directed to the nursing students and maybe some cosmetology students. We have our general reference sources. You can go ahead and search these on your own time, and we keep adding. We keep adding to this list databases that we think are relevant to our students. So you can always go on here and check for your resources. So some of these include repositories of databases, or scholarly journals, or other databases that we have to go in and search. All right. So for example, I've clicked on this one and it gives you a list of areas that you can search, journals here, and you can go through in your own time. So let's say you know of a particular journal that might not be available to you anywhere else, but it can be available here from here. And remember that it's the same peer-reviewed articles that are available in other databases, right? So don't feel like because it is free, it's not useful. Open access is something that a number of academic institutions are pushing towards, and a number of professionals in their different fields are writing in these open access journals and databases and systems. Even in our own college here, we have through our research unit, and I'm sure Dr. Malcolm has spoken to you about this already, where they have done their research journals. One is institutional research, and another is about academic journal
Miss
research.
Morrison, we have to
Yes.
wrap up because it's 1 minute to 7 and they have another class at 7. But
All right.
I think Jessica,
Yes.
you can go ahead.
Okay. Miss Marson, on
Yes,
behalf
dear.
of the class and Miss Malcolm, we'd like to express our appreciation for your inspiring and insightful presentation. Your
Okay.
understanding and ability to present was very much grateful, and you presented in a way that is memorable to the group tonight. So on behalf of MOEHR's group, we'd like to say thank you and we appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you,
All
Ms.
right.
Morrison. So perhaps another time you can probably introduce them to RefWorks
Right.
briefly for me, because I know
Okay.
they're going to need it for the research course.
Yes. I'm sorry, I thought I had until 8 o'clock.
Oh, no.
I would have
The
gone
5
through
to
much
7
quicker.
class.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So I will send you the details for RefWork so you can forward it to your students.
Sure.
All
Appreciate
right.
it. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, Dr. Malcolm. Bye, students. Take care.
Bye. Have a great evening.
Yes.
All
you
right,
too.
guys. So that gave you a brief overview of the databases. I know you have another class starting now, so I will update you in terms of what I'd like you to do before next class via Canvas. So please pay attention to your emails. Please go ahead and select your groups or select into a group as we were discussing earlier in the class for the research project. All right.
No problem.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening.
Have a great evening. Bye, miss.